Hi, my name's Ella Clavdetcher and I did my business project on marketing a small business. Okay, so, going into our outline, what I'm going to be going over in this project kind of varies over a couple different fields. I'll go over what a small business is and the success rates of small businesses and kind of the best options for small businesses in the United States. Then kind of going into the marketing, I'm going to be going over different kinds of marketing, what exactly it means to be marketing a small business, the different success rates and some advantages and disadvantages of being a small business and how that you can kind of go about that. So moving on, what is a small business? A small business is going to be any business or company that's going to be independently owned and operated. They typically won't employ more than about 500 people, keeping it nice and small. About 99.9% of businesses in the US are going to be considered small. So that puts us at about 31.7 million small businesses in the United States. The most popular form of small business are going to be LLCs, which stands for Limited Liability Company. It's going to keep the taxes nice and low, and they are going to be the most popular form of opening and operating a small business. That means there is about 21.6 million LLCs in the United States. So different industries in different small businesses, different industries in small business. This is really such a huge bracket. It really can be anywhere from like cleaning, janitorial companies to salons, restaurants, florists, shoe departments, boutiques, bars, anything, cafes, you name it. Automobile repair is a really big one too. You can do like grocery stores, delicatessen, stuff like that. There is also going to be like a franchise thing, which they can kind of fall under like a small local business too, but it's going to be a little bit different. Basically, there'll be like a big chain and you can buy a portion of that chain and open your own, and you can be a franchisor to the franchisee, and kind of open your own like little section of that. But as far as opening up a business and having it be small, it really kind of depends on where you're going to go, as far as like if you're going to be in the restaurant industry, if you're going to be in a salon, spa, stuff like that. There's going to be different requirements for each business, but typically it is pretty obtainable for like normal public people to be able to get those licenses, like a liquor license, sanitation ratings for different spots, stuff like that. It is pretty, like I said, it's pretty obtainable and very accessible for people to be able to do. So if you have a small business, it's not impossible to get the stuff that like a big business would need. So some success rates of small businesses. So about 20% of new businesses are going to fail in the first 2 years of business. Typically about 45% will fail in the first 5. 65 are going to fail in the first 10, which is leaving only about 25% to hit that 15-year mark. The recent pandemic might change those numbers just a little bit, but in history, that's kind of been the concrete success rates. So, what is marketing a small business? So, marketing a small business is going to be more than just advertising and kind of getting your name out there. It's going to be making an impression on future customers, planting a seed in their mind, kind of creating those building blocks and giving them the information they would need to make a decision on where to go for what service they need. There are going to be many different marketing strategies, and it also is going to be you growing your business networking, kind of seeing what else is out there, what your competition is going to be like, and kind of fighting against that. So going forward, some different types of marketing. Word of mouth is going to be a huge one. People are going to talk. They're going to talk about the good and the bad. So whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, they're going to talk about it. Events can be a big one too. If you have local events within your community, if you're kind of, again, building your network and building up clientele, getting your name out there. Digital is huge, especially in the age where we are. That is probably going to be the biggest one that's going to reach as many people in kind of one foul swoop. Print and radio are some other ones too. They are kind of starting to be on the fade out, unfortunately, but I think it also will kind of depend on your business and the demographic that you're looking for. So some success rates of marketing strategies. Like I said, digital is going to be the dominant strategy to be had as far as marketing goes and getting your business out there. HubSpot blog said that about 80% of businesses are going to buy into another business to then put their advertisements out on social media and get their name out there more than they would just be able to. And so Facebook is going to be the leading platform that people are going to buy into to have their advertisements put out there. About 26% of people are going to put their ads onto Facebook, and that's what's going to get the biggest feedback. And then Instagram is going to be coming in close at 19% after that. YouTube is going to be at 18%, Twitter at 13%, and TikTok with the lowest at just 11%. So Facebook is going to be the spot where you're going to reach the largest amount of people from all kinds, all ages, all different kinds of people, no matter who you are. Facebook's going to kind of cover all of that ground. So I spoke to a couple different local small businesses in town and kind of spoke to them a little bit about what their experience has been like, kind of what they've learned to stay away from versus what works well for them and who's attracted the kind of customers that they're looking for. So they both have had very different experiences, but the one thing that they could agree on was that for their businesses and the people they were trying to attract, radio and print, like newspaper ads, magazines, did not bring them little to any customers, and if it was, it wasn't really the demographic that they were looking for. One of them was Patchmaster or Cape Fear Drywall. This is going to be a little bit more lenient. They're kind of looking for anybody that has, stuff that they would need fixed. He buys into another business that's going to put his name out there and put the advertisements up on different business websites and different web searches. He's going to be pushed to the top because he's paying to have his name put out there. Word of mouth is also going to be big on him. He encourages people to leave reviews and recommendations on Yelp and places like that to help get his business out there and show that he's a credible small business. Next is going to be Golden Salon and Dry Bar. Callan Faulkner owns an LLC behind Golden Salon. She has been open since April of 2018, so she's worked through that pandemic, and her experience with that was pretty gnarly. She was telling me about how, when all this stuff is happening, you're worried about your health, where your groceries are coming from, what's happening with your children's school, your work, all this different stuff. But people also are really worried about going back to some kind of working situation with their hair looking completely not the way they've kept it. And so she had people continuously throughout the pandemic asking her if they were going to be opening and what that situation was going to be. So even throughout that pandemic, she was working on her social media, on getting her portfolio up and running, on, staying present and staying relevant in that when people weren't physically coming in, which was a battle in itself. But in that time, she learned a lot about marketing because she had to run her business solely from an electronic device. She couldn't physically be working to keep her business going. So she at one point had hired somebody like Patchmaster had to be advertising for her and putting her business name out there and putting advertisements on social media and stuff like that. And she just did not feel like that really attracted the kind of crowd that she wanted, and it also didn't bring her as much business as she had hoped. So she felt like I had just said, growing her portfolio of social media and having that to look at and just staying relevant in that way brought her the clientele she was looking for and kind of reached the customer database that she was looking to tap into. Again, word of mouth is going to be huge. You see someone in public and you say, love your hair, where'd you get it done? They're going to say Golden Salon and Dry Bar. And people recommend their mothers, daughters, aunts, sisters, brothers, all kinds of stuff. So word of mouth is going to be huge for her too, because it is about your physical appearance. So some advantages and disadvantages of marketing a business that's small. Some disadvantages are going to be you are going to be employing less people, which means the chances of you employing somebody with an actual specific marketing experience might be a little bit lower. You're going to have a little bit of a smaller budget than any chain big supply would. And you're also not going to have as many resources. You're not going to be able to be on every single billboard or in people's mailboxes, stuff like that. But that trade-off is that you will have some resources that bigger businesses might not be able to. You'll be able to go to small business events. You'll be able to tap into that local community and kind of play into that more. And you'll be able to advertise an intimate one-on-one experience that maybe you wouldn't get from, some big name thing, because they're just trying to get you in and out as fast as you can. So with a small business, you're trying to actually create that relationship with the community, which is just going to kind of build their trust and build a loyalty and create a pattern as far as whenever they need this, you go here. That's who they're going to think of automatically because they've had that experience with this one local place. Another thing that people don't usually think about when they're marketing a small business is you're really only looking to advertise to your local area. You're not looking to, if you're in Wilmington, North Carolina, you're not looking to advertise to people in Connecticut because those aren't the people that are going to be getting in your business per se. If it's like a service business or a restaurant or something like that. If you're like into like an Etsy small business, it might be a little bit different because that's like an ordering situation. But if it's like a service industry thing, you're not going to be advertising all over the place. So you may be able to spend or save a little bit of money just by advertising locally. So it definitely is going to have its pros and cons on how marketing a small business is going to go. I think there's some good trade-offs there. So for a conclusion, is my phone picking that up? Okay. For a conclusion, the marketing strategy that you choose and the way in which you market your business is going to completely be up to the owner of the business and how they want their company to be portrayed. That being said, it's something different is going to work for everybody. It definitely isn't going to be kind of like a one-size-fits-all situation. Online marketing is on the rise and it's only going to become bigger. I don't see us in any way going backwards and going to paper or solely to word of mouth. I think online is just going to continue to boom and just get bigger and bigger. And in my opinion, I think small businesses are going to have an advantage when they're marketing, just because I think there is something to be said for small businesses, and I think more people are starting to trust small businesses, and more people are going to start dipping their toes in the water and opening small businesses of their own, which is just going to encourage other people to use small businesses or open small businesses. And I think they are on their way up. Going into these next couple slides, I just have some works cited. There we go. And that is it. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a good day.